Markiplier takes a deep dive into terror as he writes, directs and stars in an adaptation of the video game Iron Lung. In the future, humanity is on the brink of extinction after the Quiet Rapture has made planets and space stations vanish. Markiplier plays a convict who has to pilot a submarine, the titular Iron Lung, to explore the blood-red ocean of a desolate moon for samples in exchange for his freedom. But when he becomes stranded, he soon becomes aware that something alive is down there with him. While he's far from the first YouTuber to make the leap to film, what Markiplier has done here is a tremendous accomplishment. This is completely self-financed and has had a largely grassroots release, encouraging his fans to demand cinemas to play it, resulting in a surprisingly wide global release that nearly topped the US box office. Regardless of what you think about the film itself, that feels like a seismic shift. And the film makes the most out of its limitations, playing out almost exclusively from the inside of the sub, and as a deliberately claustrophobic experience thanks to some extreme close-ups. Much of the horror is mental and existential, given our main character is trapped inside a rickety sub that's constantly dripping, with barely an idea of what he's supposed to be doing or what resources he has, and his only glimpses outside come from flashes of the radioactive camera, building suspense out of what we cannot see, until it becomes an extremely overused gimmick. Given he's the only person on screen for 90% of the running time, aside from one long exposition scene early on, Markiplier is a surprisingly engaging screen presence, playing a man who desperately wants to live despite a world of despair and nihilism, even if he isn't given all that much to do other than grunt a lot and scream profanity at the top of his lungs. Although you can marvel at how the long hair he has makes him look uncannily like Adam Driver. Unfortunately, the biggest problem with Iron Lung is that it's extremely overlong, and the tension is undermined by long stretches of tedium that need a much tighter edit. A single location one-man show cries out to be an hour and a half, not dragged out to 124 minutes. It does have its moments, especially in the bloodbath and body horror finale, and the clear inspirations taken from Alien, Moon and Event Horizon. But too often it gets bogged down in long, repetitive dialogue scenes clunkily explaining largely irrelevant lore, much of it with a radio that is so often garbled and broken that it's unintelligible and makes things hard to follow at points. It does feel extremely faithful to the game, but at times so much so that it feels like you're watching a live-action Let's Play rather than something that you're emotionally invested in. But despite its flaws, it's an undeniable calling card for Markiplier that impresses and shows a lot of potential for something much bigger.